If you want to express, or if you do express, sympathy or outrage over Israeli civilian casualties, then let me tell you, you are cynically using decent human sentiments precisely to support indecent, inhuman occupation, because you are not actually disturbed by human suffering. You are disturbed by the inevitable consequences of causing the suffering of others. Unless you can show me where you have consistently expressed your grief and your outrage over Palestinian victims over the years, and you can't do that because if you consistently expressed your grief and your outrage over Palestinian victims, why, there wouldn't be anything else on your social media accounts, because there are victims daily. So if you're just now coming onto social media and you're talking about, oh, these poor Israelis, then let me tell you, you're saying that because you think it makes you a good person, or you want to think of yourself as a good person. Well, I'll tell you to your face, you're not a good person, because you're not disturbed actually by human suffering. If you were at all concerned about human suffering, then you would have been concerned about the human suffering of the Palestinians, because they've been victimized daily my entire lifetime for decades, because it was the Palestinian suffering being caused precisely by that grandmother or that woman or whoever who supports Zionism and who turns a blind eye to the suffering of the Palestinians, the same way that you spent your whole life turning a blind eye to the suffering of the Palestinians. Don't tell me that your grief is just based on general human emotion and general human feeling and general human decency, because it's indecent that you have never felt this way about the suffering of the Palestinians that eclipses many times over anything that the Israelis have suffered or are suffering now. So as soon as someone expresses their grief or their sympathy for Israeli civilians or Israeli victims in the current conflict, all I hear from them is that they don't care about human life. They just care about some humans' lives, and other humans are supposed to just bear the suffering. They're just supposed to bear the oppression. They're just supposed to bear the subjugation. They're just supposed to bear the brutality. And the only thing that upsets you is when they fight back. That means that your actual sympathy is with the criminals and not with the victim.